If you're watching this video, chances are you've seen a bunch of videos already like this new productivity technique, this tactic, this gadget that you must buy because it 10x's your productivity, and none of them really work. All of them end up with you back in the cycle of constant trying new things, new schedule, new routine, new habits, same old you with the poor habits, same old you with the poor routine, schedule, poor everything that actually ends up in you not getting closer to your dream life. That's because less is so much more in productivity, because the definition of productivity is literally getting more for less, getting as much output as possible per unit of input. So that means if we literally try less and give ourselves less output and don't fucking work for 10 hours a day, we actually end up getting more if we do that on the right things, and that is what true productivity is. So here's my promise to you. If you have the attention span to watch a video like this, which is unedited and it has like 40 minutes with a fucking guy talking besides a whiteboard, you will get incredible results, because we will talk about how you need to actually simplify your routine, because you're already doing too much. Chances are you're doing too much. Your input already outweighs what you should be doing, and you're focusing on the wrong thing. So we should simplify your routine before we do anything else. The second one is we should refocus to the foundations. Focus on the things that really do matter. You know, you hear this 80-20 figure so much, but no one really fucking knows what the 80-20 is. What are the 20% of things of effort that we can actually put in to get 80% of results? No one actually knows what this is. We just talk about, okay, it's this habit, okay, it's that habit, but we talk about it like it's a universal, like it's general, like we aren't different human beings with different goals, like it's the same for everyone, but it's absolutely fucking not. So we're going to talk about these things, and finally, third thing, we're going to talk about mindset. We're going to talk about attitude, because this is a word that scares a lot of people away because it's not too tangible, it's not too concrete, we can't really grasp it. But the thing is, the reason you go from this obsessive, come on, let's go mode to this down, depressed, lethargic, and timid kind of mode is because your mindset and attitude is wrong. This is why you can't do a 75 hard. This is why you can't do a monk mode that's longer than 3 months. This is why you can't stick to a schedule for like a few weeks even. This will all make sense to you once I tell you about it. Please give me the benefit of the doubt. Please let me actually tell you what these fucking things are, because it will change your life. And if you don't, well, you're just going to be stuck in this constant cycle of inputting a bunch and trying super hard and doing more and more and more, when that's not actually where the magic lies. I literally recorded this video, by the way, yesterday, and I was cooking so fucking hard, I promise. And I cooked for like 1 hour, it was like 61 minutes or something, and I checked my recording and my microphone was off. So please pay your respects to me, because I felt very amotivated and fucking lethargic after that, because it was one hell of a cooking session. So first of all, we're going to talk about simplification. Within simplification, fuck, I forgot a P. See, I can't even spell anymore. Simplify. There we go. It looks a bit scuffed, but it's gonna say simplify. Within simplification, we have to talk about 3 things. You need to simplify your routine. You need to simplify people. And you need to simplify items. So, let's start with the routine. I need to tell you a story about when I had a routine, which was very specific. And as a matter of fact, first of all, I didn't actually have a routine once I left the education system. You know, we all got handed like timetables in schools, and they tell us where to be, when exactly, every single time, and if we're late, we get punished and shit like that. The thing is, those kind of work because you have this accountability, you have this sense of urgency, you feel like everyone else is doing it, so you have FOMO as well. But the thing is, once you exit that, you're never really told how to assemble these. You're never really told how the thought behind these fucking timetables gets created in the first place, and you can't really make yourself one. So you're like plucked out of the education system, you're in the workforce or wherever, and okay, sure, in the workforce they tell you to be working at this time, but that's kind of it. And if you don't, you're not even in the workforce anymore, you're just fucking unemployed all of a sudden, you don't know what to do with your fucking life because you have no time management skills. So time management is absolutely necessary. And this is kind of the reason I started this channel, because I had so poor productivity, scheduling, time management, and all of these kind of skills, is that I got nothing done. Quite literally, I had like 24 hours in a day, just like you do. Everyone has 24 hours in every single day, but I was getting like 2 hours worth of work done at most. So this was about a year ago when I actually started grasping the concept of routines and timetables and this kind of stuff, and started recreating some for myself. The thing is, I wasn't doing it in an efficient manner. So what I ended up doing was I woke up, it was about 7 a.m., but that's kind of irrelevant, so I'm not really going to write out the timestamps for every single time. I woke up, I went for a run, I came home, I took a cold shower, and then I don't know, I took a green tea, I think it was. I was intermittent fasting, so I wasn't really consuming any calories, but I wanted to join my family for breakfast, so I took a green tea, and then I started working. The thing is, every single time you make yourself a routine, the first thing that you should determine isn't actually a time block. It isn't actually a thing that you should be doing. It isn't actually anything to do with the routine. It's something entirely different. And if you can guess what it is, I'll give you a cookie. But what it is actually your goal. And my goal in this season of life was making hella money. It was making business progress and really getting my agency to more clients, actually getting more money and basically more revenue. So what I did was I woke up, I went for a run to get myself this cortisol spike to actually wake up, because I had quite a lot of trouble with waking up back then. And then I took a cold shower because I saw it on the internet and everyone was saying it, and it was like, oh, it wakes you up, oh, it gives you dopamine, oh, it da-da-da-da-da, you know, immune system, this kind of shit. Green tea, I like green tea, and it also gives you a bit of caffeine, but not as much as coffee. And I just wanted to join my family for breakfast without eating breakfast, and then I get to work. Can you guess why the schedule didn't work for me? Why did I end up changing it? Well, first of all, this run thing, it's not actually super conducive to my goal. If you can imagine how motivated I was to run every single morning when I knew that the big needle mover task for me, the 80-20, which we talked about, was working, how motivated am I going to be to run? I'm not an overweight person. I was actually quite slim my whole entire life. Now, sure, I still get benefit from running, and I do it nowadays, by the way, because I think it's very good for self-discipline. It's a form of exercise. It's also good for your cardiovascular system, even if you don't want to lose weight. But the thing is, it's not entirely conducive to my goal. It's not really going to get me any money. Now, of course, you could argue that maybe it makes your mind sharper, maybe this and maybe that, but it wasn't helping me that much. Now, the main problem though wasn't actually with the run. I actually got running maybe about 3 days out of 4, so I skipped it once or twice a week, but this was actually quite a good cornerstone of my routine. The problem came when I started cold showering after running, because the thing is, and you can flame me all you want for this, by the way, because I did, it is my responsibility in the end, but when I take a cold shower, can you guess what the first reaction of my body is? The first thing you feel once you take a cold shower? You feel cold. Why is this a problem? Well, it's not necessarily a problem because people have very good cold tolerances, some of them. I personally don't. I personally don't have that good cold tolerance, and when I put my shower to the minimum and I get out and I already have trouble waking up, I'm going to be fucking it is British weather, by the way, British winter weather or British autumn weather with 5 fucking Celsius. I get home from my run, I'm already cold, I get in the shower, I'm fucking freezing, I get out, what's the first thing that I want? I want to get warm, so I go back into my room where my work is, so I can get to work, I take my green tea with me, or maybe I go down, but the thing is, I'm cold, and I get back into fucking bed. Every time. Now, again, you can tell me I'm in the wrong and I'm undisciplined and da-da-da-da-da, and yes, to an extent, you're right. But the thing is, if know that I have a tendency to do this, I have a tendency to be undisciplined when I feel the feeling of cold, why even bother? If this thing, the positives of this thing, are actually not that important to me, then why even put myself in the situation where I'm likely to go back to bed and fall back asleep and skip my whole work block because of this cold feeling? So again, it's not necessarily the cold's fault. It is my fault, kind of, for giving into it and actually going back into bed and covering myself up just to feel the warmth. But the thing is, why would I even put myself in a situation like this? It's kind of like going out on the street late at night in a bad area that has a reputation to be full of criminals and being like, well, it's not my fault that these people are out here. It's not my fault that I got stabbed. Yeah, but you are putting yourself in a situation where you're more likely to. Exactly like in this, I know that I have a tendency to go back to bed when I feel cold. So why am I putting myself in a situation where I have this tendency? So instead, what I ended up doing was I crossed out this cold here, and I ended up making the shower warm. And that kind of worked. So the thing is, I went for a run, still somewhat consistently, somewhat inconsistently. I skipped 1 or maybe 2 sessions every single week. But the thing is, after I took a warm shower and I took a nice hot green tea, working wasn't actually that hard for me. So I actually did end up working here. So usually, if I'm in a season of I want to make money and I want to make business progress, nowadays, and right now actually, what I do is I wake up and I go to work. Because none of this shit is actually super conducive to my goal. I don't firsthand feel any benefit really of doing this shit. So this is why adding a bunch of habits, especially if you're not convinced in it, if you don't believe in it, it doesn't really matter, right? Because we as humans can't really act in accordance, or out of accordance with our beliefs rather. If we don't believe in something and we do it, we can discipline ourselves to do it. Okay, fuck it, yeah, it's probably true, yes, let's do it. But after a while, like, the reality will catch up. We'll just be like, well, hold on, we're acting out of accordance with our beliefs. We don't actually believe this. Why the fuck are we doing it then? So what I end up doing now is just wake up and work. And it works perfectly because it's nice. Now, could you, if you actually believe in a habit, like, let's say if it's meditation, if you believe that first thing in the morning, if you do meditation, your mind will be sharper if you hadn't done it. And do you think that you will get much better work because either it will make you going to work actually more likely and you're more motivated to go to work if you meditate, or you just have a sharper mind and you feel like you can get into flow state more easily, you're actually more focused, you end up getting distracted much less, then why the fuck not? Then I'm not going to tell you to remove this. So everyone, like, each to their own. If you actually feel like a habit for you is like a cornerstone bedrock habit for you and you just don't want to get rid of it, my man, more power to you. Like, there's no reason for you to get rid of it. But actually, if we analyze every single thing you do in the morning that isn't conducive to your goal, I don't know. Like, you get me? A lot of people do so much fucking fluff just because they saw it in an Iman Gadzi monk mode lock-in video. And this could apply for any situation. So if your goal is getting into the NFL and it's athleticism and shit like this, why do you, I don't know, maybe you shouldn't meditate in the morning right away. Maybe you should get on the pitch and on the court as fast as possible so you can get the practice in, then you can get your meal, and afterwards, when you're already in this recovery period, when protein synthesis is firing, you're getting more muscular, maybe you're getting more athletic, I don't know, your neurons are repairing, I have no idea. But then maybe it would be better to meditate. So that doesn't really make that much sense in your morning. Now again, if you really perceive this as a thing that makes you more likely to hoop better on the field, and it gives you some sort of athletic performance, at least you believe it too, sure, do it. But the thing is, most of us don't. Most of us don't actually need a cold shower. And although the science might say that it gives you dopamine, although the science might say that it, I don't know, helps your immune system by 2.81%, if you have a tendency to not get to work or not get out on the pitch because you're overloading yourself and giving you this fake sense of progress, then what's the point? The other problem with these kind of things is that all the self-improvement artists go to the gym, do the cold shower, do the meditation session, and they don't actually work. They don't actually do what is closer to their goals. You might tell yourself that, okay, I watched a video of Kobe Bryant doing a fucking basketball session or whatever. I watched a Jeff Nippard video on how to get stronger in the gym. Okay, I meditated today, and then, yeah, done. Did you actually get close to your goal? Did you actually get better at fucking basketball? Did you actually become a better basketball player? Chances are you didn't, and you just have this fake sense of progress on the habits. But the thing is, all the habits are meant to do, all these things are meant to do, is to make this, the needle mover, more likely or better. So either you're more likely to do this and it's easier for you to do more of this if you do some of this, or when you're doing this, you're better at it. You're more focused, you're more locked in, you're more knowledgeable, anything like this. But if it isn't actually there to aid you, there's no point in fucking trying. There's no point in doing it. And a bunch of people have a shit ton of fluff. Now, another caveat to this is a lot of people say video games at the end of the day is productive because it helps them wind down. Bro, if we put a heart monitor onto your fucking pulse and we actually sense that you have 140 BPM while you're playing Valorant and you're clutching a 1v3 situation, do you think that's winding you down? Do you actually fall asleep like within 2 minutes once your head hits the pillow afterwards? I highly doubt it. Now, of course, if you actually like 100% believe in it and you actually don't get that excited, etc., watching 1 hour of Netflix before bed might be productive for you. It genuinely might help you make more money if it's a good thing for you to unwind, because maybe without the Netflix, your bed hits the pillow, and then you're thinking about stuff, and oh man, why didn't I do that? And you didn't unwind properly. But if you do, if you actually have, this is your routine, and by the end you have Netflix, and then you have bed, it actually is better, because this, the habit that is a habit and it's meant to enhance whatever your priority is, enhances it. And of course, bed isn't your priority, getting sleep isn't your priority, but if you can understand basic fucking principles of the universe, better sleep is better at anything. If you get better sleep, you will be better athletically, your mind will be better, you will repair more neurons, you will have better focus. And so basically, sleep is one of these meta habits that's kind of, you want to focus on it all the time. So if this habit below the meta habit helps you, then why the fuck not? The problem is that most people's habits don't actually aid them, and you have a bunch of fluff in your routine, and it doesn't actually help you in anything. So get rid of these habits and actually add habits that you really believe in, and they do actually help you, and they're at the correct time, because a lot of people fucking fail to schedule these for themselves, just put a bunch of shit in before the thing that actually matters, and they end up doing less of what actually matters, or a worse version of it. So the second part is actually getting rid of some people, simplifying your life within people, because although we don't really put much thought into it and we adhere to all of these societal norms and niceties and shit like this, a lot of people that are in your life probably don't deserve to be there. What I mean by this is, ask yourself, if I passed away, will this person be at my funeral? Or, 5 years down the line, will I actually know this person? Will me meeting with them today, or going to that coffee, or actually talking to them on Discord or some shit, mean any meaningful progress for me? Will I actually be better off with them in my life? Will I actually get anything out of it if I invest into this relationship? Because that's literally what you're doing. You're investing time and energy, not only that, but mental cognitive capacity, because a lot of this simplification comes down to that. It's a lot of freeing up our mind to actually think about our goals, to actually think about what matters to us, because we're thinking about so much shit that isn't actually that important. We're going to talk about this more in the second foundations area of this video, but really think about these. Is this person actually like instrumental to my growth? Am I getting anything out of this relationship? Do I actually cherish this person? Do I value them? And even if you don't, you can still have them in your life, but maybe don't put them at such a priority, because a lot of people actually use you in this life, and you only see it in hindsight, and that's not a place you want to be. And while I'm saying these words, you're probably thinking about a person. You probably know who I'm talking about, but you have these voices in your head saying, no, but it's not them, no, but you subconsciously know, your intuition is telling you it's them. I'm not going to like go hard on you, and I'm not going to tell you to do it no matter what, because it's a thing that you have to get yourself to. It's a point that you have to convince yourself to actually go and pull the trigger on. But I'm just here to tell you that it really is that simple. It really does come down to that. And a lot of times we end up realizing this, and we end up wondering about it for months and months and months, and then we finally are like, okay, this person really isn't helping me. This person isn't really growing as fast as I am. Maybe this person isn't meant to be a passenger in my life and on my journey. And just to put it into perspective, a lot of these people, for example, if they're your classmate or if they're someone you ended up meeting from your hometown or something, what are the chances? Like, what are the chances that that person who just randomly ended up sitting beside you because of a sitting thing that your teacher designed, like, you know how you fucking sit in the rooms at the classroom, do you actually think that that person that you sat next to on the first day was like mathematically supposed to be that cool with you? Do you think you were actually that good of a meshed together, or is it just the time that you're not willing to give up? Are you giving into sunk cost fallacy, which says that based on how much time you've already spent with the person, the more unlikely you are to depart, because you've already feel like it would be a waste of time, and it would be like a detriment to your previous years to drop this relationship. So I'm not telling you have to fucking X out every single person that you know, and just because you're not 100% cool with them, you have to not invest anything into them. But the thing is, a lot of these people who you are kind of like, okay, but it's not bad enough, it's not good enough, but end up being in the beta region paradox, which is basically this area. If you were to draw a scale of 1 to 10, and the y-axis would be how good the situation is, how happy you are, etc., etc. These people from like pretty much like 3 to 6 maybe, or 3 to 5, this is the area of it's nice, but it's not that nice. It's bad, but it's not that bad, rather. That's a much more accurate way of saying it. So this is kind of the area where you're like, yeah, I'm not willing to drop this relationship, but I don't know, it's not that good. You understand? So this is the place which is the most dangerous, because if someone's been in this area for like this, and you would rate your relationship with them at this stage, and it just doesn't seem to get any better, chances are it won't. Chances are you're just not meant to be. Whether it's a romantic relationship, whether it's I want to say family, because I know that's a touchy subject, but a lot of people won't really like this, but honestly, it could be family, and it could very well be friends as well. But if it isn't improving, maybe you can try putting some effort into it and improve it. But the thing is, if it's been in this zone for a long while, maybe you're better off without it. Maybe you're better off prioritizing yourself, because the more no's you say, the more yeses you say to yourself, the more time you give to yourself. And I say this with a lot of weight on my heart, because I've been a people pleaser my whole entire life, and I've always been the person to help out. But the thing is, you can't help others before you help yourself. You need to give yourself the time. You need to give yourself the space to actually improve, and not give that random person who just wants a fucking handout but is acting nice and wants a fucking coffee with you sometime the time and space, because it won't lead you anywhere nice in life. Again, you don't need to cut off every single relationship you have, but a lot of people actually end up taking your time, taking your mental capacity, which is very, very important, and they're not leading you to any growth. The third one is items. Now, items is interesting because I don't specifically mean physical items. It could be digital, and it could be this whole concept of mental RAM, actually. That's the main thing I'm trying to get at. I have a video about this that should be appearing as a card right about now on the screen. Mental RAM, or digital RAM, or however you want to call it. This is basically a concept that someone's probably invented before me, but I really thought of it myself. Just pat myself on the shoulder there. This is, just imagine how a computer works, right? So your computer is working on a basis of random access memories. It has some like memory that it stores in the subconscious mind. I'm already drawing the parallel here for you. And it already has like a bunch of programs running in the back, a bunch of software updates, and it has like a lot of storage and memory and this kind of shit. And the more it gets clogged up, the slower the computer is. The more it has to wait before loading up tasks, the less stuff it can store, etc, etc. And your brain works the exact same way. Just like when I was a gamer, I installed antivirus softwares, I cleared up the storage on my PC, I made sure I deleted some apps that I wasn't using anymore to make sure that my PC runs as fast as possible, to get as much FPS and as low ping as possible, right? But what I don't actually do, or I didn't actually do for the last, before the last 2 years, because I've done this quite frequently, is a protocol where I do this for myself, where I look at the things, okay, what are the things I've been postponing? What are the items that I could fucking throw out because they're just in my direct environment, and I'm just letting them be. And they're literally like distracting me. All they're doing is distracting me, and yeah, I'll get rid of that, yeah, I'll throw that in the bin, yeah, I'll give that away to that person, and I don't end up fucking doing it. And it's giving me these kind of thoughts that literally clog up my mental RAM, remove my mental capacity. I really recommend you watch this video. It's first link in the description, but I go into this deep on a lot of things that are actually like making you run on like 60 or 70% of your max potential just because you're not paying attention to this. For me, it was like the first time I did this, I had the bank account that my mum opened for me when I was like 16 that I didn't close, and every single month I was getting charged for it. I had my dental hygiene. That's a big thing. A lot of people don't even get dental checkups regularly. Like, what was the last time you went to a fucking dentist, my man? And randomly like buying new clothes, throwing old clothes out, buying this random thing you've wanted to buy for a long time, saying things to people. That's a big one. This conversation you think about when you go to bed. Do you know how we all do this? We all think about, I should have said that differently. Oh man, I wonder what they're doing. These kind of stuff. We think about other people. How about if we just got it out of our system? Because we're squashing it down constantly. We're pushing all of these emotions down. And if we just listen to them and let them up from the surface, onto the surface, and actually let them out, our lives will be so much better. Like my BPM, my resting heart rate, went down by 5. I can show you the fucking statistics. Actually, I do in that video, so I really do recommend you watch it. My resting heart rate from the month of August went down by 5 to the month of September. That was when I did the protocol in late August, and I ended up getting so much shit off of my plate, so much weight off my chest. That physiologically, I improved my age by like 3 years in that month. So yeah, I really, really do recommend. This could be just throwing out items, throwing out digital stuff, even cleaning up your computer itself. If you use your computer a lot, could be a big thing for you, because then you would just get a few minutes extra every single day. And yeah, all of these things. So a few months ago, I was thinking about really the concept of just getting a lot done in a small period of time, because that's really what we all strive for, especially within this niche of these, like, you're probably like quite a smart guy watching this video of actually caring so much about how much you get done and making sure you maximize your output, especially if you've watched this far. But I was thinking about how do we get so much done pretty much effortlessly, right? This is the biggest thing. We don't even have to discipline ourselves so much in certain periods of life because we just feel motivated to do good stuff, and in the others we don't. In the others, doing the basic fucking minimum is so hard. Doing the bare fucking minimum is so hard. And I was thinking, and it got me to this concept of bedrock beliefs somewhat. This is what I call it. There could be an entirely different bedrock beliefs. There could be an entirely different phrase for it, but I call it this. This is like beliefs that everything else is based off of. And I believe that one of the things that we have in common, but at least I definitely think this, is that one of my bedrock beliefs are that mental health comes before everything. And it's not that cool to talk about mental health and this kind of stuff in every single area on Earth, every single realm of people. But I really, really, really do believe that this is everything. Like, this comes before everything. And for that reason, I need to tell you a story. So when I was I was launching like a software company, essentially, with one of our first clients for my marketing agency. He was a coffee shop owner, and my business partner then, who was my business partner in this agency that I had. And we basically came up with a solution to solve problems for other coffee shop owners. So me and my partners, my business partners, combined knowledge of like marketing and software and shit like this. We wanted to put it together with the coffee shop guys' knowledge of coffee shops and making marketing for those kind of businesses. And we made this software, we white labeled, and we also added stuff, and we did a bunch of things. We worked super fucking hard at the beginning because we told ourselves that, okay, we're going to go monk mode, at least me and my business partner. We kind of had a falling out with the other guy, but that's the story for another day. So we ended up going really, really hard at the beginning, and we ended up working, and we ended up dropping workouts and not eating as healthy and doing this kind of stuff for the reason that we just wanted to go super hard. We were really into like David Goggins and Jocko Willink, and just grind as soon as possible and get the business up because we're going to be making so much money soon and everything. And the week goes by and I'm skipping even more workouts, and I look in the mirror and I can see the junk food that I've been eating. You know, my abs aren't showing that well, and I'm not looking that good, and I'm not even growing. Not that I'm not growing, I'm literally like entropying. I look a bit smaller now and I look a bit pudgier, but whatever, right? Because we're just grinding and it doesn't affect me, and negative thoughts, I don't give a fuck about those, right? And then I just feel super demotivated one day. Then I don't get any work done. And the third day, on that week, where I feel super demotivated, I open up League of Legends. And I just can't get a hold of myself, and I keep going the fuck down on this like rabbit hole of doing degenerate shit and looking at things I shouldn't, and etc., until the point where I just can't fucking work anymore. And of course, this is mostly my problem. Also, my business partner and the third guy aren't doing too much either, and this whole thing just ends up crashing down. Our third business partner tells us that he's quitting. Before that, I actually told my business partner that I wanted to quit. Funny story. And the point is that I just didn't focus on the foundations. I had this mindset of, I'm gonna do more, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna be super fucking productive. I ended up setting myself high expectations. And then I ended up inevitably falling short. And then I ended up beating myself up for falling short. And then I wanted to regain the progress that I skipped because I fell short. So I had set myself unrealistically high expectations again. And they kept going around like this. Now, if you take one thing from this video and promise me you will never do this, it's this. Don't ever fucking beat yourself up. We're getting on fucking touchy territory here, but the thing is, this for me was such a big realization that this is the bane of my fucking existence. This is the thing that makes me, I don't know, this thing took away so much progress from me. Beating myself up. And the reason for this is that if you start beating yourself up, you end up hating yourself. And just think about this, right? Just think about this very, very rational question here, and I want you to answer it. Why would you help someone you hate? if you're doing it for yourself, and that's your biggest motivator, and you want to make this much money, and yeah, imagine how much the business will be making soon, and you set yourself high expectations. Oh yeah, I'm in this very fired up stage, right? I'm having like a 9 out of 10 productivity day, and I'm setting myself the expectations that, okay, I'm gonna have this same day, or even better, right? Because I'm so fired up for the next 30 days, and then I'm gonna be on fucking 30k a month, even though I'm barely making any fucking money now. Obviously, I'm falling short. Obviously, I get demotivated, so I beat myself up, I do stupid shit, cycle continues every single time, and I don't give a shit about this at this point, right? I'm not even caring at the slightest about mental health. That's shit's like a foreign concept to me. My gut health is fried, I'm eating junk food, I'm not even exercising. So this is a very tough point in my life, and this is why I ended up thinking about these kind of bedrock beliefs that I have, and these kind of systems that actually end up making not discipline, but just motivation and just productivity in general feel so easy to me without having to use discipline most explicitly. So how do you actually get good mental health? I boiled it down to 3 things, and these 3 things are literally all the things that are worth focusing on, because I want you to understand this. If you nail these 3 things, everything else will come. If you like yourself, the delayed gratification habits will be your default. The thing is, you don't understand that if we draw a graph of delayed instant gratification, this is instant gratification, right? Up, down. You feel very good for a very, very small period of time, and then you go down for a long time. Red will symbolize, oh fuck man. Yeah, that's uncomfortable, whatever. Red will symbolize the delayed gratification. This will be the D, okay? Pause. Kind of like that, or maybe I'm emphasizing a bit too much, but the thing is, this will feel obviously worse when you first do it, because you don't want to do it, you have to use discipline or whatever, etc, etc. Sometimes you don't even have to do that, but afterwards you will have a longer, better period of time. You will actually feel like, fuck yeah, I really feel proud of myself that I went for that run. I really feel proud of myself that I put in those work sessions, so I'm making a lot of money now. I really feel proud of myself that I approached that girl in the gym, because I would feel really bad if I hadn't. And it led to so many good experiences and everything. So in total, the reason we do delayed gratification is because in total, we get more happiness from it. We get more contentment. We get more fulfillment. The thing is, even those people who are very, very big on delayed gratification and are like these highly intellectual people like us who are the self-improvement fucking gurus, we do it because we're still hedonists deep down. We still value pleasure and these kind of things. And the thing is, so if you understand this, every single time you ate on the side of instant gratification, you're telling your future self, I don't care about you. You're telling yourself, I will self-harm for the future, for my future self, just so I get a bit of pleasure now. That is the act of self-hatred. This is literally it, okay? You hate yourself. The only reason you do instant gratification is because you hate yourself deep down, and you might not be on the board. What's the fucking saying for this? You might not be on board with this. That's what I was looking for when I'm saying this. But you are literally doing this. I promise you. Every single time you do instant gratification is because one part of you isn't on board with this. It isn't on board with your future self. It isn't seeing into the future. It doesn't have this fucking sight that, okay, shit, this might be bad for myself, and you don't have compassion for yourself. You don't really care about yourself that much. So, how do you end up being on your own side? How do you end up liking yourself? How do you end up being a person that is valuable to themselves? It's by getting mental health and focusing on these things. These things are exercise, gratitude, and meditation. Fuck. There we go. I promise you can spell, by the way. And I had a pause there, and I was just thinking of the last one. But I actually have a habit tracker that has literally these 3 things on it, because G.M.E, there's like gratitude, meditation, exercise. And the thing is, with these things, is that I don't actually believe tracking any other habit, maybe input goals, maybe how much did you work and stuff like that, it's worth it. But even those, I don't think it's worth it, because it ties back to this concept of bedrock beliefs, right? The bedrock beliefs we have is that if you imagine a thought, let's say if someone says, we need, just, I don't want to go political with this, but if someone says we need more migrants in this country, well, why are they saying that? We need more migrants. Well, maybe they believe that one step over that, one step before that, maybe they believe that, I don't know, people, they are struggling and they deserve a better life. Okay, why is that? Because people should care for each other. Okay, so this is just a 3-step thing, but we could go even deeper. Let's say the bedrock belief here is that people should care for each other. That's literally just the belief that we have right now, and that leads us to believing that we need more migrants in every single country, because people should care for each other. And that is like a few steps down. That's just a thought pattern. I'm not saying I'm against it, I'm not saying I'm for it. It's just a thought pattern that we could have. In the same sense, if we set shit like this on our habit trackers, like, this is G.M.E. Gratitude meditation exercise. This is input-based goals, like how much you work, for example, work hours, and this is output. How much money did I make? This is highly intellectual. This is like high IQ shit. This is like mid IQ. I'm just gonna write high here for it to make sense. And this is low IQ. So the thing is, writing output-based goals is retarded, because output is the thing that you can't control. Input that's kind of smart. You know, you can control the input, you can control how much you work. But this is the 2000 IQ thing. If you understand that I will work more if I have good mental health, and I will get better outputs if I work more, if I have more input, you're golden. Like, these are the fucking basics. And I promise you, if God were to fucking show you a sign of when you did these habits and when you had good mental health, and he was to score your, obviously if we had just had a fucking 1 out of 10, 1 to 10 scale of mental health, that would be the best indicator, right? So that's even one step above this. But the reason I say G.M.E. is because G.M.E. is the best way to predict your mental health. So the more you do these habits, the higher your mental health will be. These are kind of like very, very strongly correlated things here. So the point is, if God were to show you, like, on every single day, the amount of progress you got and your G.M.E. scale, like how many of these gratitude, meditation, exercise habits you did, I promise you there would be such a strong correlation. At least for me, there is. So there's no fucking point watching another YouTube video, consuming content, which is only making you feel more overwhelmed, by the way, which is only making you more detached from yourself and more attached to the result and to the outputs. And you can't control this thing. This is what I'm fucking talking about. And it gets me fired up because I really resonate with this. My younger self really did this so much, where I would set goals for like, okay, how much money did I make that day? Okay, how many kilos am I? How much muscle did I put on? When that doesn't matter. If you control this will come, and if this will come, this will also come. This is all that matters. So let's actually go over the habits now that I've yapped for so long. Exercise, just do any form of exercise. I used to do a lot of weight training. I recommend it because I think it's the best form of exercise. However, I don't recommend only doing that. Ever since I started going on runs and trying out sports and shit like that, I've been much more fulfilled because it's much more fun and I don't need to discipline myself at all to go down and actually do these things. Pause. But the thing is, just going to the gym and doing like super hard workouts will kind of cock you if that's not your main goal. Because if you really want to work, let's say, obviously you need to go to the gym because it will like already give you a basis to your day. It'll give you discipline. It'll give you like much more healthier outcomes in your brain and everything. So you will be able to work better if you go to the gym. But if you go too much, like multiple times a week, like more than 3-4 times a week, especially if you're working out very, very hard for like 2-hour sessions or something, this will start to be more of a detriment if you only do weight training. So I would recommend going on runs and doing sports and playing sports with your friends. That's a very good way to combine these things and combine social activity and exercise. So that is a much more way to go about it. Gratitude, I don't think there's anything that comes up more often in studies related to happiness than gratitude. This is the single meta habit when it comes to happiness. I have like a dotted line on the I don't think I have one on my desk right now, no. Anyway, I have a dotted line, 3 dotted lines at the bottom of every single to-do list that I write. Every single night, I write out a to-do list for myself to do tomorrow, so I know, like, I wake up and I look at it, I know what to do. I have 3 dotted lines at the bottom of those, and those are reserved for gratitude. Every single day I wake up, I think of 3 things that I'm grateful for. Could be very, very fucking basic, could be very deep. I could say, I'm grateful for the floor that I'm standing on right now, because someone probably built it, and it took them a lot of time and money and effort to build it. I'm grateful for that person even, and the floor itself. I'm grateful for my parents for birthing me. I'm grateful for this pen for not running out on me, even though sometimes I feel like it's fucking liable to do that. That's 3 things right there, and it could be fucking stupid, but the thing is, imagine if this is your first thought in the day. How much better will you be? You know, we have these things a lot of times when we wake up and we have these negative thoughts, and our day's just ruined because we started it off in a negative way. If you win the mornings, you win the days. That's a very, very common saying, and I think it's very true. Because if you just have this positive outlook, positive things will come to you. You will be more luckier. A lot of studies show that. So just have gratitude, at least 3 things during the day, but just literally just having thoughts like this. And the way you have thoughts like this is by manually inputting them in at first, and then you will just naturally have thoughts like this. If you just think you're getting on the tram and you're just like, man, I'm so thankful for the driver that he's driving me around and I don't even have to pay for it, or I have to pay like very minimal money to actually get from one location to the other so fast, you will start to have more thoughts like that throughout the day. The third one is meditation. Now, meditation itself, usually referred to as mindfulness meditation, at least I think that's the most common one, is very, very powerful. This is the way where you train your focus, just like any other muscle, to actually focus on one thing at a time. This will lead to you getting much less distracted throughout your deep work blocks. It will help you get into flow state much easier, and it will make your life so much easier. Your decision-making skills and your ability to segregate noise from signal, and you will just become a fucking smarter person. But not only meditation, it's actually just not doing anything. That's really, really cool. You don't actually realize, or at least a lot of people don't, you don't have to do something all the time. You can go to the toilet without your phone. You can lie on the couch without looking at anything, without the TV on. And as Kendrick Lamar said, just fucking turn the TV off. Really, if you just sit and stare at your wall, you might actually start having thoughts about yourself that are actually yours. Because if you look at Twitter, you're thinking about, oh shit, Cristiano Ronaldo scored that goal yesterday. Wow, that was really cool. You're thinking, oh shit, this politician passed this law. I can't believe he did that. That's so outraging. You're looking at the news, oh, I can't believe this person got hit by the fucking tram. That's so sad. Now you're in a negative frequency all of a sudden. So what you need to do is to start thinking about your own thoughts. Because if you have, just like we talked about, by the way, in the first decision, when we talked about people, if you have these kind of decisions in your mind, which you're thinking about for 6 months before making it, you're like, man, I can't believe that person wronged me, or should I? No, but I can't tell them, that would be awkward, but I can't really fucking stand them, but they just invited me to that party, man. And you're thinking these kind of thoughts for 6 fucking months, and you're not freeing up your own mental capacity. If you actually start to think about these thoughts for yourself, and you have dedicated time in your day where you think your own thoughts, because there's no external stimulus, you win. You make decisions so much faster. Because imagine if you just have just a few fleeting thoughts. You know, you qualify yourself as an overthinker, but you're overthinking about other people's shit, right? The thing is, if this is you, and you're smiling and you're happy and everything, and there's so much stimulus around you, and you see this person on the street, and oh shit, that guy's fighting that guy, and then you look at Twitter and Cristiano Ronaldo, but oh shit, that politician passed it on, oh shit, my friend's calling me, you're thinking about external things, right? And that's very, very cancerous, because you're wasting time pretty much. There's a celebrity probably right now that you know a lot about. That person doesn't even know you exist. As a matter of fact, that person doesn't even exist. That person could literally be AI as far as you know. You've never seen them in real life. As far as your personal reality is concerned, that person doesn't exist, right? We can just get that. So why are you thinking about them? Why are you wasting your mental capacity, which could be directed to something purposeful, something that's your goal? Why are you wasting it? If you stop looking at these external stimuluses, and if you just limit them around you, you just put a fucking barrier shield that knocks all of this shit out, and you're only focused on yourself, you start focusing within this voice inside your head. It's already collected information that has a perception of what you are, of who you are, and once you limit the resources that is available to you from the outside, you start to understand what's within. Your subconscious mind is 99%, and your conscious mind is 1%, which means there's a lot of shit you don't know about yourself, okay, to say the least. And there's a 7-day Vipassana retreat, VIP, that's not very important person or some shit like that. It's Vipassana retreat, I'm just not going to write the whole thing out, which is like a meditation retreat that a lot of people do. It's free, you can look it up, by the way, you might have one near you, where a lot of people just go and they meditate for like 10 hours a day. And most people recommend this, like the recommendation rate or the positive experience rate of this is like 90% plus, where they literally do nothing for 7 days. If you can imagine that, just you right now with an overstimulated brain doing nothing for 7 days, you'd probably like, holy shit, like you couldn't even bear to fathom how painful that could be, because you're so understimulated. You can't even go to the toilet without going with your phone, can't you? So why is it that some people that go to this thing claim that it's like the best experience of their life? 90+% people say that it's super transformative. A lot of people end up crying, just bawling their fucking eyes out after 8 hours of meditation. Is because, as we mentioned in the previous point in this video, you have a bunch of experiences. This is your subconscious mind, and this is your conscious mind here, this little nugget here. You have these experiences here that never really come up. You still remember that one time that your mother didn't hug you when you were a child and you really wanted her to. You still remember that time when someone wronged you and you didn't really fight back. You still remember these things, and the more you push them down, the more they kind of flare up in your real life, and you end up being impulsive, and you end up being resentful, and you end up being mean. And you don't even know why, because this isn't conscious to you. Now, once you start to block out the outside world and you start to focus within, this shit starts to go into your conscious mind, and you start to remember this. And that's why people have these kind of experiences where they meditate on the fucking floor. It's like the third day they're doing, and by the way, people report their fucking backs hurting by like just sitting in this pose for so long and everything. And then is the point when they actually like figure out, oh shit, I've been acting out this way my whole entire life because I had this experience when I was a kid, or I had this person who wronged me, or I had this thing happen to me, right? And you're not even thinking of it consciously. You don't even know that this is why it exists. You know, the Carl Jung quote of until the unconscious is made conscious, it will rule your life and you will call it fate. We call shit fate when it's actually just this, your subconscious mind, because you don't see what's in here, yet it's controlling your life and you're calling it fate. If you actually give yourself time to meditate, but not necessarily just meditate, just to decompress and have life without any fucking external stimulus, just nothingness, and just think your own fucking thoughts, and not about if Cristiano Ronaldo or Messi is the GOAT, you will start to make immeasurable progress in no time. When I first started going into online business and getting started in this I don't want a 9-to-5 type shit, I ended up starting a business, failing it, or just quitting after a few weeks, starting another one, etc, etc. It was my 5th business that actually ended up making money, and in total to this day I think I've had 11, 12 or 13, somewhere around there, businesses, and only one of them was like a big success, and one of them like kind of broke even. So it's a very bad record, if you ask me. And the reason for that is mainly explained by these Hinduist kind of energies, and I might be mispronouncing them, I might be talking about if they're not just energies, they're like frequencies or whatever the fuck. I don't kind of know the words for this, but whenever someone explained it to me, it made a lot of sense, so I'm going to explain it to you as well. Tamas basically means this not necessarily sad state, although I'm going to draw a sad face. It's kind of amotivated, it's lethargic, it's not wanting to do much, it's this apathetic kind of state. Sattva is at peace, it's tranquility, it's serenity, it's just being okay and in the present moment and just one with things. And Rajas is being fired up. It's being ready to go. It's watching a David Goggins video and being like aloof and yeah, let's fucking go, let's get it type shit. And the problem with this, if you go from this state to this state or the other way around, what goes up must come down, just like the sine wave. If you end up being fired up, just like in the previous example, by the way, if you remember the cycle that I drew out, if you end up by getting fired up, setting yourself unrealistic expectations, getting a big jump, the thing is you will think that that's your baseline now, and yeah, let's fucking go and everything, and you will inevitably fall short. And sometimes not even your own fault, you know. Someone passes away in your family, something tragic happens, you know, fucking, I don't know, the bus is late and you missed the meeting that's very, very important to you. Something happens, right? So many things external from you could happen. Your business partner quits, whatever it may be. Things, we just can't expect them to be good all the time. So if we can get this state, which is like a 4 to 6 level of productivity, if we can just get this state to be a constant, that's cool. The way I do this, by the way, the way I actually focus on this and just being in this state as much as possible, because this is the key to success, is drawing out 3 single things, 3 things, not 3 single things, 3 things that are most important for me, and I do them every day. Every day before I go to bed, I do this Plan Tomorrow Today protocol, which I talk about quite a lot on the channel. You can just probably click a video when I talk about it. But really, because it's probably the most important piece of the puzzle of outsmarting the game of productivity. I write out 3 things, and these 3 things are all based on the concept of if I get these things done, these 3 things done, today is already a W. These 3 things, which I probably could get done in like 2-3 hours, if you're being realistic, you know this is true. If you just got a few things done, which you can get done in a few hours of work every single day, no more, you would already be happy. You would already be on pace to getting your thing. So if you just get these done, you're good. Like, you can, of course, go a bit further and you can make your day a bit better and just aim for this like 5 to 7 out of 10 productivity zone and just get things done. The thing is, if you just keep yourself grounded in reality and actually get a bit of progress done and don't work all day, but actually focus on the things that matter and give yourself time to be productive. You know, we talked about Netflix at the end of the day. That actually might be productive. So you know how we're making all our decisions through the scope of what our goal is? Just like we talked about, our goal is actually money, but we're not working 10 hours a day. We're not fucking working 10 hours a day because we understand that we need to decompress. We need to go for a walk because that might help us be creative and give us good ideas. We need to do nothing because then that's kind of a meditative state, and we might understand our subconscious and we might get better ideas that way. Now, I'm not saying to live your life like this and stay in this zone every single time. This one definitely has some value, and even this one has value from time to time, because we do need to go through the grieving process and just kind of wind ourselves down occasionally. So, if you're like in a war mode and you want to have fun and you want to just, I don't know, be wild and do shit, yeah, sure, be in these modes. These are cool. But if you want to be like monk mode, don't fucking aim for this mode, because this comes with this, okay? That's my understanding of it, and that's how I've experienced it in my life. If you aim for this, just be cool, be a chill guy. You're calm, like you're fucking good, you're halfway there already. And this is why I talked about the business example at the beginning, because this is exactly what I was doing. I started a new thing, and I was like, yeah, oh my god, I'm going to make so much money. I'm calculating these things. I only need to do this much to get this amount of stuff out, and I was focusing on outputs again, just like I explained outputs, just like I explained in the previous example. I was focused on the wrong fucking thing, whatever. And what ended up happening, I didn't get where I wanted in 2 weeks, and I ended up going to this state, and then just to get back to this state, I ended up switching business models, and I ended up doing something different, and then I ended up doing that. And only time I actually succeeded in my business was when I gave it more than 3 months. Like the 4th month we profited, and it was like the 6th month we broke even. That was when I gave myself time to stay in it. I was like, okay, I'm getting a bit demotivated now, but it's cool, I'm still going to do it. And I wasn't getting that demotivated because I didn't set myself that big expectations, and I didn't give myself that much forward momentum in the first place. I was like, okay, this is going to take a bit of time. How can we cope with it? How can we be fine with it? That's exactly what I did. So really just aim to be in this kind of state. Don't fucking go all in. Don't fucking tell yourself you're someone you're not. Give yourself time to unwind and just understand that things aren't actually that important, especially to be added to your routine and to do more and to work so long and to and buy the gadget and do the stupid thing, and stop watching these fucking videos, because all it's doing is overstimulating you. You're getting thoughts inside of here that aren't you. You're not yourself anymore. And the way to do that is to unplug, is to slowly make sure your days are good. Aim for good days, not amazing days, but not bad days. Your days are good from now on. You understand that you need to simplify your life. You need to cut out a bunch of things. You need to cut out people, you need to cut out items, but maybe most importantly, you need to simplify your schedule. You need to cut out all of these fucking dopamine hacks that you're doing that aren't actually aiding you in any shape or form because you don't even believe in them. Belief is the first step. And then you need to understand that you need to focus on G.M.E. as much as possible, because G.M.E., gratitude, meditation and exercise, will yield you the most results, because those are the bedrock habits of anything else. Before input and especially before output based goals, focus on these things and your life will be back on track, because you will start liking yourself again. That's the most important to get things done, because if you like yourself, you know that instant gratification is always worse than delayed gratification, because this yields more results. The only thing is that this is an act of self-hate, and if you do a lot of these, you will understand that. And finally, especially if you're in a period of being locked in and actually wanting to achieve your goals, aim for sattva, aim for peace, for tranquility, and for actually striving at a steady but nice pace, instead of ADHDing, shiny object syndrome, switching from shit to shit all the time because you want that bit of dopamine and satisfaction just in your mind, because it doesn't exist, because you don't actually get anywhere in life. You just feel like, okay, I'm just giving myself this forward projection of, okay, if I keep going for 2 months, I'll get so much out of it and everything. Then you fall back into this place, and then you're depressed again. Just aim for somewhere, a steady pace in the middle, and you will be golden. I promise you that. Thanks for watching.